And what is up, everyone? Welcome into today's stream and podcast of Locked In Retro Plays. I'm one of your hosts, Devin. Over there is my boy Dan.
Yup!
And we are bringing you today's game. Well, this month's game is Final Fantasy X. And I'm going to kick it off with... how you doing, Dan?
I've been good. I've kept busy doing a lot more collecting on the side, playing a lot of other games to keep me busy.
Hey, you're gonna need a storage unit soon for all your collections.
I got bins in my closet, man. You should see it. I'm surprised it doesn't just fall out when I open the door.
It might one day.
You know what? Speaking of collecting, I have an unboxing.
Look at that.
All right. Do you want to guess what it is?
It looks like a game case.
Maybe.
Or I'm gonna say a regular Nintendo game.
Interesting guess.
Is that a Game Boy Color?
Oh, but I did pick up a original Game Boy complete in box the other day.
What?
Yes.
How do you find this shit?
There's a good thrift store called Antique Addicts over it's on Middle Country Road, just a few minutes away from the Costco mall area.
By that like supermarket right there?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty close to that. Bitch! Alright, it's coming, I promise. Alright. It is a VHS. It's an episode of Pokemon.
Oh, an episode?
Yep. Sorry.
It's
it
like
is
4, right?
3 episodes, yeah. Sometimes they have 4 on there, yeah. In a nice gold clamshell with the marquee included.
Wow.
Yep. Oh yeah. We're talking 2001? Yep. Oh man, isn't that beautiful?
It is.
I don't know if you can see it, but I got like a bunch on my shelf now.
Yeah, I remember growing up and having all those Disney movie clamshells.
Oh sure, I had a handful of those.
I had like 15. My cousin wound up collecting like almost all of them.
That sounds about right. If you go to there's another thrift store called Jay's Hidden Treasure off of Hawkins Avenue in Ronkonkoma. He's got a lot of VHSs, a lot of Disney stuff too.
Crazy that stuff's not worth anything these days.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Little Mermaid case with the inappropriate picture of...
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Say no more.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, just gaming, working. Now I get a break.
What have you been playing outside of Final Fantasy X?
So after that, I replayed Metroid Prime Remastered on Switch because I got some new aftermarket Joy-Cons that are very high quality. That basically have like every single button on that is basically a mechanical switch like a mouse. So it's like really fast, short travel distance. Better joysticks. So I was playing through that, and I was playing a handheld on my OLED Switch, so that was very refreshing. And then I played through Mario and Luigi Partners in Time on the DS.
Okay.
It was okay.
Good game. Yeah, good game.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah, it's not... That was actually going to be one of my suggestions for September's game.
Yeah. I had a lot of issues with it, though.
Not that one. Superstar Saga.
Superstar Saga, though, yeah, that...
That's probably my favorite duo game of the two of them.
I do hear Bowser's Inside Story is a good one.
Yep, fantastic too.
So I gotta play that eventually. And then I finished up... Well, before all that, I finished up... what was it called? What was the Game Boy Color game? Star Ocean Blue Sphere, that was it, yeah.
Oh.
That very ambitious RPG I think I mentioned to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid game. If not, maybe going on a little too bit long, but it was a solid game. And now I'm playing... Have you ever heard of Beyond Good and Evil?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm playing the GameCube iteration of it right now.
Wasn't the second one supposed to come out? Like,
yeah,
wasn't
they announced it like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Back in 2017, and it's
2017. Okay.
Yeah, they've probably been in some kind of development hell, I imagine.
That was like with the pig.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing through that. I'm only a couple hours in, but it is such a treat to play. The characters, the control scheme is very it feels very modern for what it is. It's a very technically impressive game, very ambitious, with like motion blur, real-time reflections in the water, and all these other nuances that come together very well. And then for mobile, when I'm at work, I'm playing Wario Land 4, which is another fantastic game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. That's just a classic beat 'em up for Wario.
Seriously.
I remember like when I first got my Game Boy Advance, that was one of the games that was like the like advertised on the back of the box art. So like, and I never had it when I was a kid. So
So technically, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still officially in development,
sure,
and its initial teaser was in 2008.
I believe it. I mean, frickin' Cyberpunk was first announced in like what 2013.
Wow, was it really?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of games they cook. Like Diablo 3, I think was first announced in 2007. Didn't come out until 5 years later. You know, Duke Nukem Forever, stuff like that. I'm sure there's a long list of that.
For me, I've been reading a lot more, which is nice. It's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really big into like reading a book of a movie series I haven't seen before, and then watching the movie after.
Mm-hmm.
Which I haven't done yet. I'm on the second book, but haven't watched the first movie yet, which is The Hunger Games.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you did mention in the past.
Yeah, so I finished the first book. Really enjoyed it. Second book, not so much yet, but it's starting to get good.
All right.
It kind of is like a throw off when the second, like you understand in the first book, like they have to set the setting and get the tones and introduce you to characters and yada yada yada.
Establish the world, building up that and all that.
But the second one should just take off running, and it didn't.
Sure.
So
it's a different tone, I imagine.
Yeah. So I've been doing that. I've been playing a good amount of Pal World.
It's funny you mentioned that. My friends were playing it. I couldn't get into it personally. Something about it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
You tried it, or you just
I tried it for about an hour, but I don't know.
Yeah, I could definitely see it's not for everyone. I don't know if it's going to be a game that I stick with.
Sure.
I just wanted to give it a try since it is such like a Pokemon clone.
Yeah, I got you.
With its own spin and guns and all that stuff. But I'm also not really... I've never really played a game that focused so much on like crafting and building and having, going after pals that are good at certain things so that they can improve your base, or that they're always giving you eggs, which then turns into this food, which then turns into that. So
right.
It is an interesting concept, and I like delving that kind of deep into the weeds of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and played a lot of Final Fantasy X. I played a little Magic Arena on the side. The new Hobbit set came out, so well, pre-release was today, so that's fun. Yeah, outside of that, working a butt ton.
I can imagine.
My family was just out too, so it was like when I wasn't playing games for the podcast, I was pretty much just hanging out with them. Or luckily, I had a week off because Mary was supposed to get something done. It fell through, so I kept my week of vacation. So we pretty much every day put at least 5 hours into Final Fantasy X. More on some days more on Sundays rather than others, but yeah. So we have one gaming news topic that I found interesting.
Oh wait, before you get to that, I forgot. I'm also playing. There's this really neat little cozy game called Restory, meaning restore and story. It just came out the other day, but I had my eye on it for a few weeks. It's a game where you're a guy in Tokyo in the early 2000s, and you own a repair shop, and you repair up just little gadgets for people, whether it's like game consoles or cell phones or receivers or anything like that. But it actually, from all the tech work that I've done, it's very accurate to how you can like construct and deconstruct and go about replacing parts. Then you like go on like offhand sites to just like buy junk models to help repair, and there's like a little bit of a story where you have dialogue options between people and deciding on whether or not to give them a break, so you get better customer retention, or you be more stern and get like the profit in the short term. But it's a very neat little $20 game, especially if you want to like learn how to
fix stuff up.
Yeah, familiarize yourself with little tech stuff. It's a nice game to play.
That's cool.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Is there any games coming out the rest of the year that you're looking forward to?
Yes. So I think I mentioned it. There's a game for the Switch 2 called Orbitals. It's a co-op game, much in the same vein as like It Takes Two or Split Fiction. It's made by another Kepler studio. I can't remember the other work they've done off the top of my head, but This game takes the art style approach of like the very soft, grainy 1980s like Japanese anime of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I remember
I'm looking forward to
watching
that, you know. And then besides that, Ocarina of Time remake, obviously, sometime later this year. Let me check my wish list. So let's see.
I'm gonna play Wolverine.
Okay, it's not my cup of tea, but I got you.
And then I forgot the name of the game. I'm not sure if it came out yet. It's like a mix between Kingdom Hearts and Jack and Daxter.
Hearts and Jack and Daxter.
It's called Dusk Fade.
What's it called?
Dusk Fade?
Dusk Fade?
Yeah, Duskfade.
Let's see. Okay, let me check.
And it comes out next week.
Let's see. Okay, studio I have not heard of either, but okay, very cool art style.
Yep, it's a platformer.
Yeah, hack and slash platformer adventure game.
Yep.
Cool. I'm also, let's see what I'm. So there's a game called Wild Blue Skies coming out in a few days on Steam. For one, it's a rail shooter, and obviously takes a lot of most of its inspiration probably from Star Fox. One of the lead developers in the game was also I believe an ex-dev for either Rareware or a subsidiary company that worked on Star Fox back in the day. And so this is just a sort of an offshoot from that, but it's technically its own IP. So yeah, Wild Blue Skies. I recommend you check it out. It's on Steam.
Alright, it's in my list.
And so then we have games next year, like Resident Evil Veronica.
But I think that's pretty much the end of. I'm probably, we talked about this last time, not getting Grand Theft Auto right away.
Sure.
Have way too much in my backlog that I gotta actually finish.
Yeah, and especially with your schedule, that's.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's like 90 hours a week. It's like starting to get to me.
Starting? It's like 16 hours a day, at least. God. I don't know, man.
Today was an early day for me. I went in at 6, got out. Well, I text you at 7:30. I got home.
Oh God.
Early day, so not too bad.
That's rough.
But all right, we go to gaming news.
All right, what do we got?
So Xbox is testing ad-supported game streaming. So it's not as bad as the headline makes it seem. It's really not. So it says.
Please alleviate it for me.
From the article by Xbox Insider. It says, today we're starting to test an ad-supported way to stream select games from your library for a limited time. During this test period, Xbox insiders with an Xbox account will be able to stream games they own for free with ads. Players will have 1-hour session limits across supported devices and regions. So here's what you can expect. Ads will play before the session begins. The core game experience is unchanged, and it's optional. Players can choose other ways to play at any time. So they're doing it essentially. What they say is, for many players, the device they already own now allows them to stream games with Xbox. Cloud can also help Xbox One owners play newer games built for Xbox Series X and S without needing to purchase new hardware. That can be especially meaningful in places where consoles are harder to find or less affordable, giving more players more ways to play. And then ads are geared towards you. We do not interrupt the flow of gameplay. But to me, it's very unclear when it says players will have a 1-hour session limit across supported devices. And it's weird that we'll be able to stream games they own. So, is it streaming games that we own or that Xbox owns?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's the way that's phrased. I'm not sure what they're going for.
But what are your thoughts? If it was like, let's take YouTube for example, if you don't pay for it without ads, and you're watching a YouTube video, which you might be right now, so thank you. And, in the middle of a sentence, it breaks away and makes you watch, 4 minutes of ads.
Oh, God. That's what I struggle with, man. It's like, I would rather have, like, a bunch of banners on the side than have to frickin'...
Right?
Have something absolutely derail my attention.
Yeah, even, like, during sports, like, watching football, and it goes to, like, a smaller box, and you just have a stripe down the side of, like, a Doritos. Just like, Doritos little tag with their little bar or whatever, and then it passes.
I would definitely rather have that.
So, but what if it's just like, alright, they make you watch 5 minutes of ads before you play the game, and then you can play the game uninterrupted? Is that worth it?
That I could do.
But it's every time you turn the game on. So if you play for 2 hours, go do something, go eat lunch, come back to play, now you gotta watch another 5 minutes of ads.
Yeah, but that's something, if you know it's going to happen, you can at least plan accordingly. Like,
Right, turn it on, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, stuff like that.
As long as it's not like, interactive ads where they know if you're watching or not, where like, click X to skip or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, like it's like they have you on camera, and as soon as you walk away, it pauses.
Yeah.
God.
Or it gives you like quick time events.
Yeah.
That you have to do, otherwise it restarts.
Have you seen
what?
Ready
We shouldn't give them ideas.
Yeah, I know. Please, they're
Yeah,
listening
I
right
have.
now. You've seen Ready Player One, right?
I have.
There's a scene early on where Ben Mendelsohn's character, the main antagonist, he's like pitching something to like the boardroom meeting guys, and he's like studies have shown we can induce about he says, what does he say? He says we can cover about 70% of the field of view of the viewer with ads before inducing epilepsy or something. And I thought, wow, we're approaching that.
Yeah, we're close. Another couple of years.
God, it's a nightmare.
I don't know if I've asked you, but where do you stand with VR?
I personally don't care about it. I've never, well, so admittedly, I've never like picked up a headset and gone through it, but I just, from the gameplay I've watched and just like the concept of it, like that's not how I want to play games. I just don't care for it. It's not my thing.
Gotcha.
What about you?
So I get really, really, really bad motion sickness.
Sure.
So I've only played it a couple times. Once my nephew let me play like some horror game he was playing. No, not about it. You know how I feel about horror. The VR, I'm gonna wind up running down the stairs. Like,
You're right.
I did enjoy Beat Saber. Beat Saber was fun. I was able to play that for like, do you know what Beat Saber is?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, for those of you listening who don't, it's basically Guitar Hero, but VR. So you have like, you look like a Jedi with lightsabers, and you step to the side and swipe the notes or lines or however you want to describe it. I enjoyed that. I was able to play for almost an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour sessions without feeling motion sickness or whatever. And then I tried doing like it was one of those like look around the room and find it, kind of like an escape room.
Sure.
Ish. That was fun, but I felt like it wasn't very intuitive. Cause like I'm trying to reach and grab something to move something to unlock something, and
Right.
just kept like not grabbing it. I'm like, I'm doing exactly what you said, and I did it at my sister's house when I was in Texas. And even though they had central air and it was like nice and cool in the house, I was sweating.
Oh yeah.
Just because you have the helmet on, the visor, like it was.
It adds up.
Yeah, it was so hot.
Good grief.
Yeah, so do you think, or how long do you think gaming will go until it's all VR?
No,
Like-
I don't think it's gonna be like that.
No, you don't.
There's always going to be a market, like, so especially using you as an example, there will always be people that will just have that disposition where they're more sensitive to games that are, screwing with their sense of balance and like their cochlear inner ear sort of mechanism, so they just feel either sick or off kilter. But then just people in general, I imagine it's still a large majority just prefer like traditional, button games.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There is, I think there is no realm of possibility that it would absolutely saturate the market. I'm sure it has its place, for some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
Even then, I don't even know if VR sales are up or down or
I have no idea.
stagnant.
Yeah, I have not.
I don't really pay attention to VR sales in general.
Yeah, I do not have my finger to the pulse
couldn't
of
even
it.
tell you.
Yep.
So all in all, with ad gaming, it's meh until more comes out about it, or
You know what it is? It's like how what did the headline go? Something along the lines of
they're
headline testing it?
is beginning ad-supported game streaming.
Got it. But as in implying that they're just testing out because they're trying to like see a sort of feedback to it. Yeah. But
On July 23rd,
gotcha.
it was starting to test an ad-supported way to stream select games from your library.
Right.
Sorry. So then what do you get out of it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the...
So then why... And it says players will have 1 hour... Now that I'm rereading this, I'm thinking it's more and more of a problem. Because now it streams select games from my library. So now in my library of games I've purchased, you're now going to supersede those with ads? Now that would bug me.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, because your question was like, how... Well, because you were trying to recap my thoughts on it, where it's meh, but... The problem is, people will get used to absurdities if you introduce them in very small measures over time, because otherwise you get backlash if there's an absolute like terraforming of the earth in terms of like whether it's like certain policies or in this case like ads are required or something to that measure. But like people will push things aside as long as it's such a subtle nuance that they can at least get used to right away. So just things done in small increments until we look back on it from years from now and then realize they did a lot more than we realized. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's what I'm worried about.
Me too. But I mean, I think that's just evolving with the times, because there's always something. I'm sure we go back 5 years, we can find something where we were like, wow, they slowly implemented that without us really noticing.
Sure. Yeah,
I guess like the more and more and more stuff that's like facial recognition, or I hate how many things that has two-step verification. I understand it's for my safety and it's to prevent hacks and all this stuff, but
all that.
I just, there's so many things that are two-step verification, and it's like, I just signed in 30 seconds ago. Why do I need to two-step verify again?
Yeah. But, with a lot of hackers out there and, like, data breaches seemingly occurring more and more, that I can put up with at least. Because the fact that it's just a reasonable safety measure, I'll take the inconvenience over that.
Yeah, try being at work and getting ping ID'd every single time I sign on to something.
Right.
Like, at least you only have to do it when you do the safety program. I have to do it every time I sign into my email.
Yeah.
Every time I go on the schedule. Every time I go to the intranet. It's...
Ugh.
Yeah. And I'm sure you forgot about last month's question of the month. But...
What was it?
So, yes, I forgot about last month's question of the month. What is your favorite weapon in video games?
Right.
It's okay. I didn't think about it.
That's right. You did ask that.
I did.
What's your answer?
The M4A1 in Modern Warfare 2.
Nice. That's a really good answer. But weapon means anything. It doesn't have to be a gun.
Right.
I love the Bigoron sword in Ocarina of Time. Do you remember that?
No.
So it's a side quest. It's an optional weapon. You have to go through this absurdly long quest chain of like meandering tasks of like fetching things for people and delivering letters and some other supplies, and then eventually this giant Goron on Death Mountain will finally make you the sword that does like double the damage of the Master Sword. And it's just this big meaty thing, and it looks so absurd, but it's a very satisfying weapon.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Are we ready to bring in the big guns?
Let's bring in the big guns.
All right. Community, we have a special guest today. It is my wife, the Final Fantasy X guru, the know-it-all. She's beaten the game almost 500 times, probably more. And she wanted to join the discussion with us today, as we selected the game not only for her, but also because they were celebrating the 25-year anniversary of Final Fantasy X.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all that being said, Mary, you can sign on. We will bring her in.
Sure. Let's see. All right. So
And here she comes, and there she is.
There she is.
And she's supporting Xanarkand right down to the shirt.
There you go.
It's got the year on it and everything.
Dressed for the occasion. Yes. So the Japan release of Final Fantasy X, July 19th, 2001. My God.
North
Where
America
were you?
was December 18th, 2001.
Yes. Absolutely.
Do you remember where you were?
Well, I do.
Let's see, 2001.
Alright, your picture's breaking up pretty bad, babe, but we'll work through it.
Yeah.
Alright, Mary, we didn't really discuss it at first. Do you want to take the reins? You want to bounce questions off us?
We could do both, I guess. We didn't discuss.
Yeah, if you guys got notes, because I'm just freeballing it here.
I have notes, but I want to first read the description on the Steam page.
I have facts.
Snap.
Yeah, she came with she came prepared. All right, so Final Fantasy as it reads on Steam is Final Fantasy X and X-2. Remaster celebrates two of the most cherished and beloved entries to the world-renowned franchise, completely remastered in gorgeous high def, and now available on PC and Windows. Okay, let's see. About this game. So, Final Fantasy X tells the story of a star blitzball player, Titus, who journeys with a young... Sorry, Titus, who journeys with a young and beautiful summoner named Yunar on her quest to save the world of Spira from an endless cycle of destruction wrought by the colossal menace Sin. So, which brings us to the start, which we will go with the introduction to the story and how you think it started, Dan.
So it's definitely a. So when I think of Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or most RPGs, at least that I've played, like Japan has such a fascination and romanticization of like medieval times. So this was like very stark contrast to that, obviously. So it's like a very thriving, Zanarkand being a very technological and developed city, and then the fact that like the protagonist is effectively a star player on a sports team. So it's like a completely different approach to like how we're supposed to connect to the protagonist. So it's such an interesting quirk, and that's what like drew me in more to begin with. And then the sort of idea that he's sort of transported either through time or to a different world. So it's like he becomes so much more out of his element because of that. So it's like the how do I say this? It's like I like how this game gives you the sense of adversity to begin with. Like you feel like you're a fish out of water sort of thing, and you have to really acclimate to your new environment a bit more. So I thought it was a very solid introduction to the game. And besides that entirely, the CG cutscenes are, they hold up fantastic even today.
Yeah, the CG cutscenes I have written on here were absolutely gorgeous. Some of the best graphics that will outrank some of the games that come out today.
Sure.
It's just so beautiful, and you could talk about how many games have different style in cutscenes, because you had the ones that were like the CGI enhanced.
Yeah.
And then you had the ones that were just regular, like almost in-game footage.
Yeah, because they were using in-game like real-time cutscenes, and then just immediately shifting to like the CG, and then going back and forth with it when it was convenient for them.
Which brings me to the point that Final Fantasy X was the first to introduce a full 3D environment and voice acting and the iconic turn-based battle system.
What'd you think of the battle system, Dan?
So it's for turn-based combat, it was very refreshing. The fact that you're not penalized for swapping out party members, so there's a significantly layered dynamic to how you approach battles, where we can have one character take a hit if they're poisoned or they have a certain status effect. Do you use another character to heal their effects, or do you swap them out entirely and then you bring someone else in with a completely different skill set to continue the battle? It's definitely a step above a lot of the RPGs, especially of its time, that were turn-based. Just really stood out to me. Yeah, I like it. I really liked it.
Did you have any characters that you kept in your party more often than not? Yeah, we know who yours was.
I had two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The third piece was a moving part, but there were two staples.
They're usually the same ones for me.
Let's see. I'm trying to. Who was I?
So while you look, for me it was Orin. Dude never left my party.
Oh yeah, Orin.
He's my tank.
If I had to bring in Waka to deal with a flying enemy, I would. Yeah. But it was Orin and it was Lulu.
Yeah.
Like those two.
Sure.
Just they get so good so fast, and they're so imperative throughout the game. Like,
yeah,
some of Orin's skills are just necessary, with like armor break and power break. And
yep.
That's what I liked about everybody. Everybody had their own skill set that is needed for battle.
Yep. Yeah, the game did a really good job of like divvying up the necessity of each character, where they each have a reasonable priority. Waka has some pretty good like stat ailment changes to enemies, like silencing them,
I use the Dark Buster a lot.
Yeah.
So to give them like the ability to miss or whatever.
I did use Yuna a lot, especially for her.
Summoning.
No, not for her summoning, for her shielding against elemental attacks. Because especially like for some of the enemies, especially early on, I forget the name of it, but it's effectively like a 3-turn bomb where if you damage it, and then you can wind up just one-shotting one of your characters if you don't have like, fire.
Seaward.
Yeah, there you go. And then Titus had his own quirks. Everybody had their thing. It was harder to use. Like Riku was interesting because her character is just effectively. Her character is just thematically is just improvisation, where you just I'll just have her in for a second to steal, and then if I needed a good bomb later, I've had like a stockpile of ingredients that I've stolen in like every single encounter. So that was pretty fun.
Once she gets those Albed primers, she is the boss.
Yeah, she was pretty dope. Yeah, but yeah, definitely it was Arn, Yuna, and then a lot of the time Lulu as well. Let's see, what was it? What was his name?
Kamari.
Yeah, Kamari I didn't use as much.
I feel like he gets abused. Like, he never gets used.
I used him a good amount.
Mm.
For the early part of the game, I used him more than Tidus did, and then finally, like, Tidus started to, like, get some good stuff, and I was like, he is really fast. Oh, he is... Yeah. You could build him up to be strong, which brings me to the thing that I wanted to hear your opinion on the most out of this whole thing.
What's that?
What did you think of the sphere grid?
You know what? I'm glad you asked. I didn't hate it.
I'm glad you're glad.
Yeah. Because, again, it's another unique approach to like the appropriation of like I'll say skill points. I know it's not really referred to that, but just your resource pool, and then you have the sort of allowed currency from leveling up for how many spaces you can go on it. It's definitely a different approach, and then it's a different visualization in like what a character is able to learn because of the things in proximity. But I think it worked out really well for what it was. I'm kind of surprised. I can't think of another game in recent memory that's like done anything even like remotely close to that.
Nope.
Yeah.
There is nothing.
Yeah.
And I will go out on a limb and say that this is the best upgrade leveling system I've ever used.
Okay.
Because of the individuality you can give each. Every run can be different.
Yeah. Like you have to really like you a lot of the time if you don't want to like bother grinding up like your characters so much further, it's like you kind of feel almost like you have to commit to a certain path without having to burn through many move points again. So yeah, to your point, you have to like.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and like I said, every place can be different, or it could start out different, and then everyone winds up going into their comfort zone. Mm-hmm. But you have, like you said before, everyone had their own quirks, or everyone had their own path that they are supposed to go down, and then you just got one character, Kamari, right in the middle, and it says, take him as you please. You can build him up to be a tank. You can build him up to be this one. So I took him right behind Lulu's path. I wanted a second black mage, because I thought magic and spells were very powerful in this game, and a necessity, and a lot of it was more often than not that I was encountering enemies that would have, like, they'd be magic.
They'd have a weakness to some element.
Resistant, like...
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be immune. Right. So she was just so powerful that even resistant, she was two-shotting a lot of like the early to mid game enemies. But I really do think the sphere grid is the best leveling system. And I don't know, how did you do? Did you do manual or expert? Right, Mary? Those are the two settings.
Yeah.
So manual is they start each person in a specific one that they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And expert, right, babe? They get all dropped in the middle.
Yeah, expert's only available in the international version.
Yeah, they all get dropped right in the middle.
Yeah,
and then you just I also think it would be really cool to play this game like with them just dropping randomly. Like you can have someone drop. You can have two drop right next to each other.
Right.
Like,
that'll add to some replayability as well.
Right. And
I'm sure there's a mod.
I'm sure.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
A randomizer.
Yeah, I think that would just be so cool for difficulty runs, which honestly this game doesn't fucking need because it's hard enough.
Yeah, this game kicked my ass for a while.
It kicked my ass for a lot of it, and honestly, if I didn't have Mary, I would go to work and she would play for 4 hours grinding for me, like.
Oh really? I wish I had that.
Well, because it's her favorite game of all time, so
I'm the human guidebook.
Yeah.
any excuse that she has to play it, she does.
I'm still gonna make him beat it.
Yeah. Thanks for spoiling it, Mary. Yeah, so I wound up not beating the game.
Womp womp.
He's at the end though.
Over 100 hours in.
God.
I am at the jet fight. And I lost to him 4 or 5 times. I had a really, really good run going.
Oh yeah.
And you know how each of the like pillars, like every time you defeat it, it gets more health. It comes back with more health.
Yeah.
So I guess for whatever reason, I didn't calculate the health right, and I thought I used Lulu. I double casted to do her Ultima, which is attacks all of them, and I thought I was gonna down the one on the left that I had hit already, but apparently I still didn't do enough. And they both stayed up, and he got 2 of the sword swings across and decimated me. Everyone was at full health.
Oh my god.
And he went 2 swings, wiped out my whole party, and I was like, I'm done. Mary was like, no. I was like, Mary, it is past midnight. I have
Let me
work
grind.
tomorrow.
I'm gonna grind.
And then I was like, no, it's fine. I'll watch a YouTube video. I'm fine. And I went to work,
That's so funny.
and she texted me. She's like, listen, I did the one side mission, which,
An hour later, I texted him, Dan.
yeah.
My god.
Yeah, but what also will be another point when I get to it is just I got to the end. The fight was very difficult.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not opposed to trying to. I am a gamer, despite what people say. I don't mind difficult games. Like, it's refreshing when you get to a difficult part and you have to strategize and how can I attack this and how do I win and the accomplishment of doing so. But just, I don't know, there was something about it that it was overly punishing to
There
what
are some disheartening moments, yeah.
Yeah, for like no reason. There were parts that I got really lucky, and Mary was like, I don't know how you fucking beat that part when
Seriously?
your character shouldn't have been able to dodge that, and I dodged it and won the battle because of it.
Must have been luck.
Yeah.
It happened twice. There
Yeah.
were 2 different instances. I can't remember what it was, but it happened twice, and I was like, how the heck did that happen?
What?
One was the big fish in the water, or whatever that thing was.
Right, yeah.
When you had to dive back down.
Oh, that's right, and he
That's
hit you with the claw, and you were supposed to become stone, and he missed, or something
Yeah.
like that. You didn't break.
Yep.
My god.
All those things in battle were really, really cool. Like the
Oh,
different status elements and ailments. And like, if you were cursed and you healed, you died. If you were stoned and you got hit, you were erased from the battle. Like,
Yeah.
so just maneuvering those were really cool. And like, our very first episode on this podcast was Pokemon. And until this Nuzlocke that I just played, I played Pokemon with damage moves only. Like, that's just the way I always grew up playing. Why am I gonna growl? I don't want to growl. I don't want to tail whip. No, I want to tackle. But in this game, those type of moves were so imperative. Like doing cheer, doing some of these other things that like armor break, magic break, whatever. Like, it is so imperative to doing that, to knowing your enemy. Like, I don't think I took sensor off at all.
I feel like this is a game that is unusually so well, like, there is such a impressively tight focus on the like appropriation of the actual moves of the game. So like, to what you're saying, every buff or status ailment or anything in between has very reasonable merit, because like you can't just like brute force this game. There's so much nuance you have to take account for, and besides that, the the other thing to think about is the fact that you can swap out characters on the fly. It's like the permutations for like character chemistry are like just, it feels infinite because there's so many things you can do to just approach each battle. It's fantastic.
Speaking of that, with the battle system and stuff like that, there was also hidden affection mechanism in the game. I don't know if you knew that, Dan.
I don't think I took notice.
Yeah, there was a hidden affection mechanism in the gameplay that I've got my notes here. That
I see it.
It affected certain cutscenes in the game that the
Oh, really?
players it affected with Tidus a lot.
Yeah.
Party members can decide which members talk to Tidus in the cutscenes. So
Oh, wow.
when it came to being in battle, it would affect who would throw the blitz ball at him during his overdrive. If you had blitz ace. I don't know if you ever got blitz ace or not.
No.
But, of course, Lulu was the most easiest to obtain, and there were 4 cutscenes throughout the entire game that could be affected depending on who had the best or highest affection mechanism.
Oh, nice. Okay. So that's another layer for the replayability aspect of it.
Yeah, it's very hard not to get Lulu, though.
Gotcha. So, by the way, Mary, have you really, like, be honest, how many times have you beaten this game?
Over 500 times.
Wow.
I'm not being sarcastic in that.
Wow. God. I thought beating Resident Evil 4 30 times was like, whoa. Chill.
Dude, she beat it 3 times this summer.
God. It's like that game's your cocaine or something.
And beat Final Fantasy X too, another 2, and working on her third.
I beat it once, and I'm working on my second. Thank you very much.
Well, 100% of it.
Nut job.
100%
I
of
did.
it.
I 100%ed it. Finally. Yay! I got my
You know,
trophy.
Mary, there's counseling for that.
It's called Final Fantasy X Anonymous.
Right. Of course. That's a classic, Mary.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, of course not. Shouldn't broaden
The
your horizons.
difficulty in this game smacks you out of nowhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I held on pretty well, and then like the second half of the game, it was really chipping away at me.
yeah, like, it's just like, it's a slow burn,
Yeah.
and you're like, alright, some of these enemies are tough, but you get into certain patterns, and you're like, alright, if I do this move with Orin, into this move with Tidus, into this move with Lulu, it, wipes that person out, or...
The
But-
only time I struggled was the very first time I ever played. And it was with the Seymour battle at Makalania Temple.
Right.
That was the only time I really struggled, and I put the game down for a year. And then I went back to
Whoa.
a year later. Yeah.
Holy crap. You know what's
And I was
funny?
able to beat him.
That's funny because just as a brief parallel, not to go off topic too much, but like that's what happened when I played Metroid Prime the first time. I actually got stuck in that game. Like I actually didn't know where to go, and so I put the game down for like a few months, and then I beat it, and then I beat it again and again and again, and it became my favorite game of all time. So it's funny how like that adversity, and then it makes us love the game even more. You know?
I mean, that happened with me.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Monstro. At this point, when I was playing the game, it was, internet really wasn't, you couldn't just go on the internet and find a guidebook to everything like you can now. Like,
That's
you
true.
actually had to go look for a guidebook.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find a guidebook to Kingdom Hearts anywhere. Not at KB Toys, not at Toys R Us, nowhere. Not like
Yeah.
GameStop, like, couldn't find it anywhere. So, I was at Monstro, and I'm navigating through these, through the whale, going through all these doors. I see a cutscene. I'm like, okay, that's what I have to do. I went through every room, nothing. And I was like, alright, I guess I'm done. And then like a couple months later, I was just like talking about it with someone at school, and they were like, you just have to do this and this. And I was like, seriously? Went home, did it, finished the game, and loved it.
There you go.
And now haven't had a single problem. Like, I thought it was so bad, I just thought the game was glitched. I'm like, oh, I bought a bad copy. Can't.
Yeah, right. That is a very refreshing thing. Like when you, it's by the way, it's just so much more. There's something more. What's the word I'm looking for?
And back then, if it makes me feel like an old hat saying this, but back then there was no such thing as a game update. So if my game was broken, my game was broken.
Yeah.
There wasn't like a Horizon Zero Forbidden West where my game was broken and I couldn't progress the story and I kept falling through the floor.
Good grief.
And Mary's like, just give it a couple of weeks when they'll do an update. There was none of that. It was, alright, I guess my game is busted.
Yeah. No, but I was about to say it's a very, the word I'm looking for was wholesome kind of thing, where if you're struggling with a game, then you had to go through word of mouth to just get the answers. You know, you're basically on a soapbox like, extra, I suck at this game. And then someone finally helps you instead of just being like, oh, that's the answer. You know?
Yeah.
Feels a lot more rewarding.
Yeah, and it's so tempting to do that nowadays. You get stuck for 5 minutes and you're like, oh, I can't solve this puzzle on Uncharted. Let me just see what it looks like.
Yeah, I know.
Those cloisters were fun trying to figure them out back in the day without guidebooks.
I hated those. God, that was such a. I will say that part of the game. Those parts of the game are such a drag for me.
I didn't mind it. I had the human guidebook, so.
Yeah,
Shut
and
up.
you didn't get the hidden items and.
Yeah, I winged it. I didn't look at any freaking guide at all. I was just like, I had to zero in.
So
Well, that's one. Yeah, right? You didn't get any of the extra Aeons?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you would know. How many Aeons did you have?
How many did I have? What was it, like 5? I don't even know.
Well,
Hang on.
you didn't go to the Cavern of the Stone of Faith and get Yojimbo, right?
No.
Okay, so then you didn't get Anima.
No.
Okay, so then obviously you didn't get the Mega Sisters because you need the other two to get the Mega Sisters.
Okay, so I had the bare bones. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
Did you get all the Albed primers?
No. I think I got most of them, though.
Nah, one of them is located in the Omega runes, and you have to have like those coordinates for the airship.
Okay.
I should have just texted you my codes, man.
My notes.
That was one thing I know Mary swears that it doesn't, but
What's that?
this wasn't like one of the games that we've talked about where, like, if you talk to people, it gives you more information about the world, and I felt like so much of this game went untold, and you just had to figure it out by chance or by guidebook. I feel like this game was supposed to be played alongside a guidebook.
No, I feel like there is something enticing about the unknown of the game, where things are completely optional depending on where it's the meritocracy being the more you delve into side content and just futzing about, the more you figure out. But not having all the pieces is not inherently a bad thing. So I thought it was okay that, you know, because it is thematic to the character that he is not effectively in his own world. So it's like not having all the answers is kind of like the bedrock of that story experience.
Yeah, not having all the answers is one thing, but I don't agree that you shouldn't have all the pieces. You should have all the pieces and decide if you want to put together the puzzle or not.
You can,
Well, they
you know,
flat out tell you. They tell you when you get all the Albed primers.
When you get them, you have to find them. They're not told to find. One is given to you, which is whatever, number 13 or whatever it was.
Rin tells you that you have to look around the world, you'll find our primers.
But even then, it's like there is a nice enjoyment to, like, at least trying to connect the dots of your own, you know, fruition. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought that was fine.
I liked the variety of enemies. I like how each area. There some areas the variety wasn't that great, but as a whole, I thought it was great diversity, great moveset, and what each one can do and what it offers, and the amount of experience that they offer, and and how you can go into each battle.
Yeah.
Just the customization of everything and the weapons, and you find all these weapons randomly just after battles, and sometimes they'll have 3 slots, sometimes they'll have 4, sometimes they'll have 1.
Actually, now that you brought up weapons, I do like the approach this game also has with equipment, where it's not a purely, what's the word I'm looking for? Where there's an actual road of obsolescence, because each weapon there's actual merit in switching back, and it's like there's no one solution per se. It's like you can have a really nice combination if you like throw the right enchantments on it. But then it doesn't, like, you don't have to be like, oh, I found this inherently better weapon, let me just sell my old shit, the same predictable RPG crap you find.
Yeah.
And also, I also like the fact that you have the option, if you're in the wrong encounter, you can use a turn just to switch weapons to something you need, which is another great, trade-off dynamic of the game that I appreciate.
I wasn't sure if you knew that or picked up on it.
Right. Yeah, I didn't figure it out right away. It took me like a few hours.
Yeah, they don't tell you that. You
They
have
do
to
not.
figure it out on your own.
They do not.
Surprise,
That's okay.
surprise.
Yeah.
Roll your eyes.
Classic Devin.
The game doesn't hold your hand. That's
Yeah.
one thing that it chose not to do. I'm not an avid Final Fantasy player, so I'm not sure if that's something that Square Enix does regularly. I know with Kingdom Hearts, it typically doesn't hold your hand either, so maybe that's just how Square Enix is with making games.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I do have to play Final Fantasy VI. That's the one I got my eye on. But yeah, Final Fantasy X feels like, in some way, the tail end of an era of games where they just really don't hold your hand at all. Because, modern games have all these, HUD markers and tutorial thing messages pop up every which way, but this game doesn't have that suffocating feel at all, so another thing I appreciate.
And it has Blitzball.
Ugh.
F Blitzball.
Dan is speaking my language.
Yeah.
F Blitzball.
Yeah, that's
F Math.
that's the black sheep of the game.
Fun fact, though, that the initial concept designs for Tidus was that he was supposed to be a plumber to justify because of all the complex underwater exploration segments that were planned for the game.
Oh, wow. So it's just Mario, basically.
Mm-hmm.
With better overalls.
Yeah, I know. It's a freaking esoteric outfit.
Yeah, so no, seriously about Blitzball, F Blitzball.
Yeah.
It was...
Did you ever score a goal?
Yes.
Oh, well, you did better than me then.
Was it enough? No. Because that was the time where I was tied 1-1, Mary, before you shake your head. Oh, yeah, no. Mary's was insane.
Oh, yeah.
She went to like 5 overtimes.
Oh, my God.
She scored a goal, and then they scored one again with like 2 seconds left.
We were
Oh my
tied
God.
1-1 for 5 overtimes.
Yikes.
But she won. That's the time that she won. She doesn't win in regulation, but she wins in overtime.
God,
That's
I
what
never
they say.
touched that game again.
How many times did you try to beat it?
I didn't. I didn't try after the freaking spoon-fed story tutorial game that I had to play. I was like, I'm good.
I retried that part like at least 15 times.
Yeah, I lost 0-1. I'm like, good game. Not doing it.
I have to go back and do it.
I want to say my hands down least favorite part about this game, you cannot skip cutscenes, and it fucking bugs me. Dude.
Really?
Well, for someone like me who wanted to beat Blitzball because trophies and stuff, but there are so many cinematics in this game where in cutscenes where it's a 7 or 8 minute cutscene, and it's like, oh, and then there's a boss fight. Oh, you lost on that boss fight. Guess what? You have to watch again. Yeah.
And listen to me reenact it again.
So it's just like that was hands down the worst part about this game, is the fact that you can't skip cutscenes.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm sure there's a mod on PC that you can, but
Yeah, there's actually a sorry, not to cut you off. There was a mod on PC I had to download because basically the PC port of this game is like hard locked to a certain amount of RAM that it uses from your system natively. And so that means like cutscenes, like the CGI cutscenes when they render on screen, they actually can either crash the game or it'll turn the entire screen green. So I had to just download a patch for that. But yeah, I'm sure there's other patches like skipping cutscenes and stuff you can find. That's the advantage of PC.
Well, with the Switch 2 update, I don't know. I still have to buy it and find out what's on that. Because I know that they kind of ported over what was on the PC, but I don't know if there's like skipping cutscenes.
Oh, okay.
Which is what they added in Final Fantasy X-2, which Final Fantasy X is the first Final Fantasy in the series to get a sequel. They added skipping cutscenes in X-2.
Oh, nice. Actually, that's another question I want to ask you, Mary. Across how many platforms, how many times have you bought FF10?
I own it on every platform.
except Xbox.
So what is that, like a dozen, probably?
I don't even own a Vita, and I have it for Vita.
So it's just a trophy on your shelf, basically.
Essentially.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh
You
my
should
god.
like
You're gonna go to the expo and then come back with a Vita, and then just play it
I
on the
mean,
train ride home or whatever
This is
you're
my
gonna do.
first copy ever owned, and it's signed by the cast. So
Oh, that's pretty dope. Oh, that is so sick.
it's my prized possession right there.
That's a memory right there.
Missing a
that-
couple people, but I'll get
That
there.
you should put in a freaking frame on your wall.
I will eventually after I get Haiti. I gotta get Haiti and Paula. I'll
Just
never beat Matt.
get those signatures, put it in like a travel dish, put it in like epoxy resin, and then just like frame it on your wall.
Along with the other ones that I have. I mean, I am friends with Jad, so James
There you
Arnold
go.
Taylor. Oh come on, we love the laugh scene.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely, we do.
Total. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Always, of course.
It was meant to sound like that.
Yeah, because he was being awkward on purpose, I suppose.
Well, James actually did a podcast about it and spoke about how it was meant to sound like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm sure he had the presence of mind. Otherwise, it would have sounded different. Alright, what's next?
I guess we go to one of the most encapsulating love stories in games. I mean, there's not many love stories in games that rivals the one between Tidus and Yuna.
Yeah.
The water scene is awesome.
Makalani.
The end
Yeah, that was
is
pretty
awesome.
Ugh.
Just how the character development in general in this game was great.
Yeah, I had no issues. I thought everyone was fleshed out very well.
A lot of this game is just fantastic and over the moon. There are just some things that break it for me. Like,
Yeah.
I think the first 2/3 of this game is almost perfect. Like, outside of Blitzball, we strike that from the record.
Yeah.
But outside, like, the first 70% of this game is absolutely phenomenal.
Sure.
And I can struggle to find many things wrong with it.
Mhm.
The last third killed it for me. Like,
Are you talking about the difficulty or?
everything, just the turn it to 11, the monotonous cutscenes into this fight to now this boss fight has this type of mechanic, which I don't really mind, but it almost, the last third almost felt like a different game, almost to a different extent. Like, it just, some of the voice acting like got weird towards the end. Like, you almost feel like,
You know what? Not to cut you off, but
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about that, that's a point you reminded me of. There are moments of the game where, and I know it's not like the Tidus laugh where he's, it's purposefully, ridiculous and awkward and all
Yeah.
that, but there are moments when characters read their lines and then their inflection is so bizarre, as if
Yeah.
they didn't
Give them
where
time.
they should have looked to the vocal director and been like, "Do you want another take of that?" And he said, "No, it's good."
I could tell you why.
Why?
tell me
Because
why.
originally it was done in Japan, right? So it was Japanese voice actors. So they had to slow it down or speed up the lines when they were reading them in English to try and match over the Japanese.
Oh no.
style.
I'm aware of that because that's the basically the standard for just modern dubs of anime, going all the way back. But even then, because it's still the case that I find the inflections weird, but they had the opportunity to make to smooth all of that out.
Yeah.
It didn't happen that often, but there were moments where I was like, that was a weird way to say that, and so on and so forth.
And I pointed it out to Mary quite frequently. Well, when I noticed it,
Yeah.
I would point it out every time, be like, that's such a weird dialogue choice. Like,
Yeah.
or the dialogue almost feels like two different conversations.
And it's even weirder because it's such a A-list cast for the main cast. You got Tara Strong, John DiMaggio, James Arnold Taylor, and then the others I can't remember, but
Matt
it's like
McKenzie.
they are A-list talent. And then I guess there might have just been something with the I don't know if I wonder if there was a localization issue where they just didn't get enough coaching or just only can do it in one or two takes. But it's a minor gripe, but it's there.
Yeah.
It
Or
was
it was just
actually-
like Mary said, one of the first games to be voice acted, so it might have just been like for the time how it was constructed and stuff, because there would just be like certain things where like a character would be like, yeah, how are you? And they'd be like, good. It's like, let them get the whole world out. It's like,
I know.
good.
Paula. Sorry, baby, go on.
Yeah.
No, it's just like, it was almost felt like it needed, like if you were editing a stream or a video or a broadcast or something, and you just cut it off like...
Yeah, just splice it a bit.
Right, yeah, like a half a second. Like sometimes that's all it was.
Right.
Or like you said, just the inflection was weird.
Yeah, it was those moments.
Paula, who voiced Lulu, had said that she's not used to doing characters like Lulu. She's used to being these upbeat type of characters. She's not used to being like that low, toned down, gothic type of,
Yeah.
So they actually made her sit down during her line readings to try and get her into character. I'm confused by that,
gotcha.
but I think
Now that I
that's
think
have-
about it, I think she had the most like quirks in her line delivery. Now that you say that, so
Yeah,
that
she
might,
is.
it might have
thought-
been she was just not in her element. So
For me, it was Riku, which is always surprising because it's Tara Strong, and like she's the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like, and I get it. Like Riku is just this ball of energy. Like she's so like wound tight. Like
Yeah.
she's an Al Bed who's very protective over that, and so some of the times like her, you know what it was too? It was a lot of her dialogue with Waka that was weird. Like that whole conversation
Oh,
of
yeah.
like Waka being that he follows Yevon so wholeheartedly that he is so against the Albeds and doesn't respect them, and
Right.
they're the whole reason that Sin keeps coming back, and then find out that that's not why.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I thought just all that, like the story was very good. A little slow in the beginning, but like once it picks up, it just, that's the only thing of the back half of the game that I really enjoyed was the story. And now, like I said, maybe it was just the fact that I put 100 hours into it, and I'm just not used to putting that many hours into a game like that. But it pushed me over the edge, and not only because the end fight was difficult, but it seemed punishing for no reason.
Yeah, I had to take a break for a couple days and then come back to it.
But you progressed through the story so quick. Mary was like, "Oh yeah, you and Dan are at the same spot," and then
I spent like 3 days just playing the game nonstop.
okay, I was gonna say like
Yeah.
3 days later, you text me that you beat it, and I was just like, we were at the same spot.
You were both at Makalani, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
And then I was like,
and then I was like, Mary, he beat it, and she was like, you still have 2 days left. I was like, okay. And I think that was because we were gonna record last week.
right.
And then my family was in town. I had some stuff going on, so it made it a little hard to
Yeah.
put some time into to attempt to finish it, apparently,
Yep.
and not even finish it.
Yep.
But yeah, at that point where she told me, I probably still had like another 6 hours left. Like I was going to Xanakin for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I remember correctly. And I was like, oh, I'm going to Xanakin. That means I'm gonna do the end fight, right? And she just smiled at me, and I was like, I'm not gonna do the
She's
end
like,
fight.
that's where you're wrong, kiddo.
my favorite part was when he was entering Sin, and he's like, "Oh, this is it. This is the end." And I was like,
You're like, oh, you sweet summer child.
Yeah.
"He's back."
And then she was
God.
like, psst, this is a 4-stage fight. I was like, I hate multiple stage boss battles.
Yeah, they're tough.
Yeah, but no, I don't mind multiple phase boss battles.
I
It's
actually
just
like
part of
them typically.
if done well.
Yeah.
I just hate Seymour. He just
Yeah,
kept
no,
coming back.
I don't like
Yeah.
Seymour's voice actor, or at least the voice. Sorry, I don't like the voice that they chose for him. It's very,
Yeah?
very.
I thought it was
Sounded
good.
wimpy to me because he's like.
No, that sounds like Peter Griffin. That does not sound like him.
Hey Yona, you want to be my wife?
Yeah, but
Anyway,
was there any point in the story that you were like, wow, like that it really got to you? Like, I don't think you've really talked about the story yet.
not in particular. It all. How do I say it? It all kind of blurred together for me, but I just did like the sort of slow builds of, Yuna and Titus, sort of.
Story.
Yeah, that cohesion kind of building, but everything else I was like not terribly unexpected. but the game is just written so well.
So, being that this game has arguably one of the best endings in gaming, and it's talked about quite frequently as having that, or at least being in the top 5 to 10. Were you familiar with the ending? Did you know what was going to happen, or were you completely
No, not really.
Going in blind?
It's funny you say that because when I look at it's interesting that you say one of the best endings in gaming or whatnot, but any list that I've like come across on YouTube or any articles or whatnot, FF10 is not as talked about for whatever reason, at least from what I've come across. But I feel like it should be mentioned more because it's just like it doesn't seem like a game that's like echoed through the ages as much as it should be. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that like I haven't had any of this game spoil for me because of all that. So
I mean, I did because I married this one.
Yeah, I think that's kind of.
I married a guidebook, so yeah.
Yeah, you married a guidebook.
He married.
I mean,
Yeah. Apparently.
So I originally did play this game back in, what did we say, Mary? It wound up being like 2003, right? Kingdom Hearts came out in 2002.
Yeah.
I think you said.
Yeah. So I played Kingdom Hearts, got stuck at that one part, came back, beat it, and then a couple months later is when I rented Final Fantasy X from Blockbuster. Because I was like, oh my god, Square Enix made Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts had some Final Fantasy characters in it, and Final Fantasy X was the first Final Fantasy I ever played. And I actually beat it back when I used to beat games, but that was all the way back in 2003 or 2004.
They still went to SquareSoft back then.
Yeah, not Square Enix.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the merger didn't happen until like 2003 or something.
Yeah, that's why this box says SquareSoft on it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, Square Enix. They were the kings of RPGs, man. Chrono Trigger.
It's got to be on our list for this, man.
Star Ocean.
That's another good one. But yeah, even the soundtrack for Final Fantasy X, the bangers.
Oh yeah, it's solid.
Listen, Seymour is a pain in the butt, but the fight music is
You're like, come on, and then you're just
awesome.
like, okay.
The jet fight, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
And then you got Sukadene. Yeah, it's just so good. The kiss, the Sukadene was the Makalania kiss scene. So good.
This game.
Can you believe that the song To Xanarkin was originally not written for Final Fantasy X?
Really?
Yep.
Holy shit.
It was originally not composed for Final Fantasy X. It was wrote earlier for a French flute player for a recital, but they decided that it was way too sad. But when Nobu fell behind on his deadlines for Final Fantasy X, he submitted it.
Oh wow.
And then they ended up using it.
That's crazy. It's funny some of those stories.
I can't even picture Final Fantasy without Xanarkin. I mean, I knew.
It's so like emblematic of the game.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, the minute I heard that song at the beginning, I knew I was gonna walk down the aisle to it one day.
Nice. Is this one of those games you cried the first time you play it, kind of thing?
She still cries.
I still cry every single time I beat it. I'll be scrolling on TikTok, watch other people play, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm crying with you.
Yeah. I'm just vicariously living through your experience.
You ever see the episode of SpongeBob when the Pretty Patties episode?
Oh yeah.
Where, and he's like, we want our money back. All 5,286 of us. That's how I feel like Mary is. Like, yeah, I cried all 5,286 times.
Yeah, right. God. Yeah, in your case, it's like 500 something.
Hey, to have something that you're this passionate about.
I always told you I love that about you, but so are we ready to wrap it up and give our ratings?
There was also one more fact.
All right, go ahead.
What's that?
Hit us with it.
That they originally planned to have an online feature for Final Fantasy X.
Wow.
But the PlayStation 2 early network technology wasn't ready to be supported for that vision. Thus, it was dropped. And later, it got picked back up, and it evolved into the Final Fantasy XI, which became the first ORPG for the series.
So what do you think, Mary? Like, if there was some integration of online for FF10, what do you think would it have been, or what do you think they should have done with it?
Blitzball. It would have been Blitzball.
So it would have flunked. Is what we're saying. It would have drowned.
Without a doubt,
That's
it would.
that's
it would
my
have-
that's my dad joke of the day.
All right, Devin, it's time to retire.
Without a doubt, it would have been Blitzball, or I think Aeon battles, because
You know what? Yeah,
I don't know if you took part in the Aeon battles.
I did when the what's her face on the side of the road. So I did those as much as I could.
Yeah, there were a lot more of them later. If you got like the other hidden Aeons, you were supposed to battle
Gotcha.
them like a whole lot more. But I think that those definitely would have been incorporated somehow.
Gotcha. Yeah, actually, yeah. You were pretty quick on that, but yeah, both of
And-
those are valid opportunities.
Probably
guess-
Chocobo racing and Chocobo mini games also on the Comlands. I can see that.
Oh
being
right.
It might have been. It might have been just too advanced for that time. I do think the Blitzball. I don't think it would have been fun to play. I think it would have lagged like crazy, but even more than it already does. He got somebody swimming right behind him, and he's like, "Nah, bro, I'm going like 10 more feet before I stop."
Yeah, there was a lot of hitches playing Blitzball, man. Good grief. It was hard
Oh,
to hard to tell. That's, by the way, just quick rant. That's the part of the game that like they could have made that like real time. You know what I mean? Instead of having turn-based sort of things, because at least it's a refreshing break from the actual turn-basedness of the rest of the game. You know, so it's like it. I was like, man, more
Well, you had to
turn-based.
turn the auto off, you know? I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I
you-
guess you're right.
Did you know that you could recruit people after that point? You can recruit people to.
Yeah,
join?
I do remember that, but I just never really broached
Yeah, I
it again.
didn't either.
That's how you get Waka Celestial Weapon.
All right, nerd.
I do think that was cool. We never really talked about that. That each of them had a celestial weapon that you had to do a specific quest for.
Yeah,
Or
200
certain
lightning
things.
bolt challenge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Still working on it.
I feel like there's other games that had. I'm trying to think. I don't know if Sea of Stars did it, but where like every character had their
Yep.
own major plot line, and then like part of the reward, which is like a very like the upper echelon like kind of weapon for endgame.
I mean, Kingdom Hearts did. Everyone
Yes.
had their ultimate weapon.
That's right. And you had to synthesize them and make them.
Yep, for the king, for the queen,
Save the
and
king.
then yeah, and then it was what was the ultimate keyblade, right?
I think it was just called the Ultimate Weapon or something like that.
Yeah, the ultimate weapon. Yep. But all right,
Neat.
Dan, what are you giving it?
85.
I'm a little higher. I have it as an 87.
Okay.
Listen, if the last third of the game would have continued on with what the first 2/3 were like, this would have been like a 90, 93, 92 for me.
Wow.
Like, I enjoyed it that much. I think it did so many things well. I think the upgrade system and, why am I drawing a blank what it's called? The sphere grid. Like, I love the implementation of it.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, there was some branching off that you could do, but it was pretty much straightforward, and it was ultimate leveling. Like, you could just... Like, I'm surprised that game doesn't have New Game Plus. It doesn't, right?
No, only 10.2 does.
I understand because... just the story of it, but like utilizing the sphere grid and the fact that you can like literally go infinite with it and just go around this sphere grid 1,000 times, like I got to a point in the game where Orin went through his whole thing and was starting to go through a second character because it was just like, all right, he's already so strong. All right, so did you say 85?
Yeah, 85. I feel like the game it does everything very well. You know, the very refreshing take on you just said of the sort of skill tree, the flexibility of the weapons, great story, good refreshing takes on turn-based combat. The game is paced reasonably well. Solid overall.
Mary?
You can't ask me because you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
100 out of 100.
Yeah.
It's a perfect 10 out of 10. For me, the game changed my life, made me who I am.
This game saved my life.
I mean, it literally did.
That's the spirit.
It's great that a piece of medium can do that, because that's why we're here, the power of gaming.
Power game.
Listen, from everything from the story of that game, the CGI, the characters, becoming actual friends with the voice actors. I mean, it's just... Everything about that game is just pure perfection in my eyes. I'm sorry.
So Mary, if I can ask you a more personal question, what was to try and tie in how FF10 was involved in your life, what was the... So this game, I imagine, especially at that time in your life when you first played it, was like such a comfort to you in some way. So what was it that you were... What was this game an escapism for you from, mostly?
Well, believe it or not, the person who introduced me to that game was my cousin. I remember sitting on his couch in New Jersey, and he introduced it to me. I blame him entirely.
Yeah, for the ensuing cocaine habit, yes.
Thanks a lot, Kyle.
There you go.
But at that time, I was getting bullied a lot in school. So it's just, it just gave me something. I wanted to escape to this world that was Spira, and then that's when I saw Riku and I fell in love with her character because I connected with her so much, and that's when I became a cosplayer because I wanted to be Riku. So it kind of all intertwined together that I fell in love with the story and these characters, and then Riku especially, that I wanted to be her, that I started to cosplay. So it's just, I blame it all entirely on this game that I am who I am today.
There you go.
Just...
That's dope.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I got to work and meet all the voice actors, and here we are today.
There you go.
The rest is history.
That's pretty dope.
It's not every day you get to say you got to meet your heroes.
Yeah, and they turned out to be your heroes still afterwards. Because a lot of times I tell you not to meet your heroes because you won't like what you find, but...
Still working on Matt McKenzie. We'll get there.
Pleasant surprise.
Well, Metacritic... Whoa.
Metacritic?
Yeah.
You got a crick in your neck? What's going on?
Yeah, a little bit.
92, I believe.
No, 84.
Metacritic?
For the PS4 version. PC was 83. The PS3 was 82. And then users gave it an 83 on PS4 and an 84 on PC.
I'm kind of surprised you're referencing those iterations because
I just figured that's what the version
you know what,
more
I know what you're
closer
saying.
to what we played it on.
Yeah, I know what you're saying because I'm thinking more of like
It's also this version. It's the 10.2 remastered.
Yeah. Right.
I can pull up what the grades were for.
That's a good point. Yeah, because the original Metacritic score for it back in PS2 was 92. This game was a lot more...
I was going to say, I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. This game was, I'm assuming, a lot more impactful back then, but...
It's because they changed the graphics from the PS2 version to now, and people hate what it looks like now compared to the PS2 version.
Oh, I would play it back then in a heartbeat. I'd have no problem with that. But I was going to say, because, Devin, you just brought up, like, referring to the iteration of the console relative to when we're playing it, which is actually not a bad take, because it's one thing to... So, because it is an interesting contrast between you and me versus Mary, where she most of all has, like, played this game when she was at a more impressionable moment in her life, and then you and me playing it older when we've already had our visual and mental dopamine fix of games, so... we don't realize how we're unconsciously making those comparisons, and that the game, at least in its state now, might not be as impactful. So we have to... So Mary especially has to wonder if she wants to see this game outside of any sort of nostalgic lens, and then take it for as it is in present day. Because the score of, like, the mid-'80s you were talking about for, like, its PS4 iteration, it's like, is that the justification? Like, do the games hold up in every single regard that it did 25 years ago? So it's like, are we remembering the game for the game, or are we remembering, like, the memories surrounding the game for the time in our life when it was comforting to us? So that's what we have to juggle. It's like,
that's why we're here.
Like, for me, Metroid Prime, part of the reason it was it's still a very enticing game to me, because I legitimately love it for what it is. But back when I played it back in 2002, my parents were going through divorce, and this is kind of like what distracted me through most of it. So trying to make that separation and, like, see the game only through the lens of the merit of the game, that's the challenge, because we have the emotional attachment.
Yeah, of course. That's what the nostalgia is. Like, I feel a certain way about Kingdom Hearts now as I did when I played it back in 2002, and it's still going to hold. Like, I can look at it objectively and say, okay, it does this well, this is how it holds up now, but I'm still going to raise it up a couple points over what maybe I would give it now just because of that nostalgia that's built in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought I was going to be way lower than the consensus on this, but you are right on the PS2 version, not the remaster, the original. It is a 92, so it does explain a lot. And
cool beans.
yeah, so as we discussed last podcast, August game is Ghost of Tsushima, which it is still free on PlayStation Plus. Otherwise, they have it for $40, and it is $59.99 on Steam.
There you go.
And now September's game, we thought it would be cool since the Spider-Man movie just came out, and they took a lot of like the web swinging and the combat from Spider-Man 2018.
Right,
that
you did mention
we
that.
are going to make that our September game due to kind of like incorporate all that together, and yeah, be exciting. That is my favorite game of all time, so I am extremely excited to play it again and revisit it and just swing some more because I can do that anyway.
I think it's the third. Is that the third time you're gonna be playing through it?
Fourth.
Oh damn.
So I played it on the PS4, the PS5 remaster. I played it recently, and now
Nice.
I'm gonna replay it again.
At least it's not over 500.
No, not everyone can be you.
Yes.
So that brings us to the question of this month, which is, what is your favorite antagonist in a video game? Which we will answer next time.
Yeah.
Please, guys, feel free to go to twitter.com or X, and I am at @li_phenomttv, or you can go to @LockedInPods, or you can email us in at lockedinpodcastnetwork@gmail.com. Tell us how you're liking Ghost of Tsushima. Tell us what your favorite antagonist is in a video game. Just tell us how you like the podcast, some constructive feedback. We're just looking to, keep growing and have a great community that we can play some games with every month, and, just continue to enjoy the medium that is gaming and everything that it does for us. And as we've seen what it's done for my wife and what Dan escaped into through gaming, and just how it continues 20 years after to still affect our lives today.
Mm-hmm.
So please get involved. Send us, DMs on Twitter. You can reply. I'm going to post the questions there too. Thank you guys for hanging out. Mary, thanks for hopping on and, expressing your love for Final Fantasy X.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we will catch y'all guys next time. As for Dan, Devin, and Mary, peace out.
Bye bye.